Greetings. Welcome to my series titled There is Only One Clear Path to Start Growing the Jamaican Economy by 10% each year, every year, for the next 10, 20, or even 30 years. What is that path? We'll be discussing that today. But today's topic is the four horsemen of Jamaica's slow economical growth dilemma, part 3. Now, in alphabetical order, the four horsemen are currently number 1, Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Number 2, Aubyn Hill, Minister of Industry and Investment and Commerce. Number 3, Edmund Bartlett, Minister of Tourism. Number 4, Nigel Clark, Minister of Finance. They are the four horsemen I refer to as horsemen. Now, in today's episode, we'll be looking at number 2 from the list above, Minister Aubyn Hill. I'm sure Mr. Hill is a very talented and experienced man in the business world. He has worked in other countries apart from Jamaica, including the Middle East. He also currently sits on the board of some of the largest companies in Jamaica, etc. Though some of the government policies that Mr. Hill is putting forward may not be of his own initiative. He may just be trying to make the best of them as he follows the Prime Minister lead or other cabinet minister leading, etc. Just a couple weeks ago, Mr. Hill said that Jamaica cannot get rich just by paying off its debt quickly. That is a good point, but it is his fellow cabinet minister, the Minister of Finance, who is paying off the debts faster than he needs to, instead of investing more in infrastructure programs in Jamaica. There are also two statements that I heard Mr. Hill repeatedly stated over the past few months. The first was about 4 months ago when he said that Jamaica cannot become rich if Jamaicans are just selling to each other. Jamaicans need to sell to the rest of the world. That's what he says. Then a few weeks ago, Mr. Hill said that the local farmers need to start selling to the overseas market. It sounds like he was speaking to the small farmers, the person who is just raising a few goats, a few pigs, or have one apple tree in their backyard, etc. These are the people who he is telling to increase their produce and try to export their surplus harvest overseas, etc. Maybe Mr. Hill need to tell his friends in Parliament to cancel their import licenses and start exporting goods instead of importing consumable products to Jamaica. Over the years, a few MPs, including cabinet ministers, has been caught importing inferior food products to Jamaica. Sometimes it's meat products that has passed its sell-by date, or bad rice, etc. Mr. Hill could also encourage some of the large companies in Jamaica to start exporting Jamaican food products abroad, and those who are already doing so to increase their exporting capacity. He sits on the board of quite a few large companies in Jamaica. It's too risky for a local farmer to try and export their goods on an individual basis or even among a group of small farmers, it is still too risky. Small farmers should have a guaranteed local market for their produce. The large hotels should be encouraged to buy their goods from the farmers in Jamaica instead of importing most of their foodstuff from abroad. I know a small farmer who lost almost 1 million Jamaican dollars about 10 years ago when the produce he exported to the USA was rejected and returned. By the time it was returned, everything was spoiled, rotten. Should Jamaican farmers ever be in the position where they are producing more than what is needed in Jamaica, then there should be a large company in Jamaica that buys the excessive food produce from the small farmers. Then that large company can do the food processing and exporting abroad. Such companies may need some help from the government to start up their food processing and exporting business. There is a model in India where the government guarantees the farmers a set minimum price for their produce. Hence, the farmers in India can produce more and more foodstuff with the confidence of a minimum price for their produce. The same could be practiced in Jamaica as well. However, I think where Mr. Hill could use his expertise and experience to help Jamaica most is a rapid expansion of the tourism market in Jamaica. Tourism can grow the Jamaican GDP by 10% per year, every year for the foreseeable future, and in the process employ hundreds of thousands of Jamaicans in the tourism industry. Easily, an extra 300,000 people could be employed in Jamaica tourism industry. However, I have not heard Mr. Hill said anything about that. Tourism is about 30% of Jamaica's GDP, and agriculture is about 10% of the country's GDP. Should both tourism and agriculture start growing by 20% each year, that could push the Jamaican GDP to 10% growth each year, so long as the other sectors just perform moderately well. See my other YouTube videos on this issue. Foreign investors want to invest in the tourism industry in Jamaica. It is the Jamaican government that is refusing to get the handle of the tourism industry across Jamaica. The tourism product need to be spread around Jamaica, not just on the North Coast, but it is needed on the South Coast as well, and particularly in the southwest parishes of Jamaica. That is where tens of thousands of Jamaicans who are unemployed would welcome working in the tourism industry. There are many Jamaicans between the ages of 20 and 50 years old on the south coast of Jamaica with very little to do. They have not done much since they leave high school. For some of them, it is as if they have given up hope as early as in their mid-20s. I'm talking about those people who did not get their 5 CXC high grades in high school. These people don't need to be judged. They could do a 3 weeks course and then put to work in the tourism industry in their parishes in Jamaica. Bring the tourism industry to them. Not everyone wants to leave their families to go and work in the tourism industry in Montego Bay and in Ocho Rios. Even those who are 30 years old, and have given up hope for finding a job, they still have at least 30 years of working in them before they reach retirement age. I've seen Jamaicans in their 50s and 60s doing cleaning jobs in the UK. The reason why so many of these people in Jamaica are dreaming of getting the opportunity to go and work abroad is that they know that they can get work in the USA, in Canada, or in the UK, even if they can hardly read and write. Hence, the question I have for Mr. Hill, Mr. Aubyn Hill, is why can't these people get jobs in Jamaica as well and be used to build the country with dignity and pride? By the way, Mr. Hill, I live in the UK for over 30 years. Jamaicans are not getting jobs in the factories anymore like they used to do in the 1960s. The Eastern Europeans has taken those jobs for the past 20 years. Jamaicans now has to settle for cleaning jobs, care jobs, or security guard jobs in the UK, unless they are teachers or nurses, etc. What Jamaica need is to use its tourism industry to create mass employment in Jamaica, in whichever parish that is experiencing mass unemployment in the country. Montego Bay does not need any more low-paid tourism jobs. Maybe Hanover is near capacity for low-paid jobs as well. However, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, and Westmoreland has many towns and villages where the unemployment rate is above 50%. If we count those who just work here and there for less than 1 day per week as unemployed as well. I know the official counting in Jamaica by statin is that people who work 1 hour per week is classed as employed. But that's nonsense, really. Okay, it is not the government who will be building the hotels to create jobs, but direct foreign investments, DFI. See my other videos that speaks about the massive improvements that these DFIs would do for a parish like St. Elizabeth. Now, we don't have to worry about tourism jobs or not where you put it, or vulnerable to maybe hurricanes or pandemic or whatever. That's nonsense. Pandemic is once every 100 years. But even if it lasts for 10 years, it's not the government of Jamaica building the hotels. And by the way, those hotels should be built, the franchises should be 49 years. The government should give the companies abroad a 49-year lease for the hotels. After 49 years, the hotel belongs to Jamaica. Jamaica owns the hotels after 49 years. I mean, those hoteliers, They spent 1 billion US dollars to build a massive hotel, 2,000 room hotel. But they are making $500 million per year. So after 5 years, 10 years, the money is the expense is made back after 5 years, or 10 years the most. So they have 40 more years to just make big profits for themselves and for their shareholders. After 49 years, the hotel belongs to Jamaica, and then you can rent them out to the hoteliers. Okay, so the point though is that with the hotel being built, 100 hotels in Jamaica, 1,000 room each on average, 100 new hotels, franchises given out across Jamaica, every single parish in Jamaica, you know, and direct foreign investment. And then we build the roads, schools, hospitals, all that stuff with the hotel towards the money, you know. And after 10 years, we have our roads, we have our schools, we have our hospitals, we have everything that we need. And it's for money to build hotels. So if the hotel collapse after 20 years, no problem. We have our roads, we have our schools. It's the foreigners who own the hotel, not us. So there's no need to worry about those things, you know. So I hope Mr. Aubyn Hill is listening. And this is the way to grow the Jamaican economy by 10% per year, every year for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years and beyond. God bless you. God bless our Prime Minister. God bless all the ministers in Jamaica. God bless all the MPs. God bless the Parliament. And God bless you for listening. Until my next video, peace.